Okay. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear the kids in the background today. Sorry, just going to have to put up with it. So today is all about exploring. So I'm just going to do a bit of exploration here around using NPCs to initiate changes in the world that have impact on other NPCs. So think of it like a choose your own adventure, whereby when you interact with one NPC, that has an impact on the rest of the way that the story or the map progresses for you. So instead of just having NPCs everywhere and you get to talk to all of them, this is more around making it so that your choices have a more serious impact on how your experience goes, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it. So first thing we're going to need is an NPC. Right, so this guy here is going to make another NPC appear. Now there's a few ways I've thought about where we can get this to happen, and there's a few things I want to try and talk about as far as options and reasons why we might choose to use these options. And I'm kind of going to make it up as I go along. And okay. So what I'm going to try and get that NPC to do is make this NPC fly up. So in theory, this may or may not work. My guess is it won't work exceptionally well. Then again, they definitely fly up enough. Alright, so if for example we had that there, there is a way, or even that there, no we can't place that there because they're there. So what we then need is a way to move that block out of the way and replace it. So that I'm going to do with commands. So basically when this redstone triggers the piston, it's also going to trigger this, and then it will recreate that block a tick later. So as soon as that NPC flies through, hopefully the block isn't there, and then it will come back once that happens. So to do that, I'm going to need to know the coordinate 2176510. Okay, that means I can give it a bit of a delay. So as soon as the redstone block appears here, we're going to make that block disappear. So to do that, we're going to go set block 2176510 as 0 replace. And then a little bit later, we're going to set block 2176510. Is it grass? Two 1176510 as 0. Let's just check that. do 64. Yes, okay, so there we go, we learned something there. So 64. And then we want to go, is it just grass? Yep, grass 0. Yep, okay. Okay. So first part, in theory, should now work. Hopefully. Sorry. That's cool as. Right? So now we get this guy to do it. We make this NPC. So me talking to this NPC. So let's give this NPC a name. So we're going to talk to Fred. Okay. So in here we're going to have this is Frank. In here we're going to add a command with a button. Talk to Fred, and it's /TP at S tilde -5 tilde. Alright, now I'm not going to press that yet. 3, 4, 5. Dang it. I want you to go back and stand up there, please. So you're going to shift up 5. Alright, so that puts them up there. So that teleporting them down here is going to put them on a pressure plate. Right, and that pressure plate is going to set that redstone block. So 217 59 11. So this command block here is going to set block 217 59 11 as redstone block 0 replace. Right. So what you can do now, right, in theory, if I talk to Frank, I'm still in, and we edit this command to be -5. Right, if I now talk to Frank, okay, Fred's under there at the moment. If I now talk to Frank and click that button, in theory, Fred should pop up. Ooh, that was a good theory. Probably because, yeah, that's not going to work in that respect. Because that never stops it. So first time it'll work. But it won't, and it's only got to work the first time. So what was the command we used? That one. So it's only got to work the once. Right. Now poor Frank's in the wrong spot. So let's Q +6, not 65. just reset all of this up to -5. Right, now let's try that again. Oh. I want to talk to Fred. And now you can see Frank's disappeared, so that decision's final. So if I come through there and I say, this is the decision I make, Frank disappears, I can't make that decision again. I don't have that choice anymore. And so I am stuck then talking to Fred, who can then initiate another and another and another. So that's one method. So that's hiding them underground. Okay, and I would say that works really quite well. That's actually quite a simple build process to make. I like that a lot. So that's that one. Right. So the next sort of process I wanted to talk about requires just a facade. And this one's fairly straightforward. What's another? So you've got Fred, Frank, Filbert. Alright, so Fred is going to allow me access to Filbert. Okay, and I'm going to do that by opening up just a window here. So Filbert's busy until you talk to Fred. Okay, and then it's going to open up, say it opens up sort of this section here. So 210, 69 and 1 to 207, 69 and 1. Right. So again, I'm going to set a command in Fred that's TP at S. I'm going to move him down 10. Talk to Filbert. Right. So in theory now we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in theory he's going to be teleported somewhere down here. Throw our command block down with that on it. And that command is going to be /fill 210, 69, 1 to 207, 69, 1 air, in theory. Right, and that will give me access to Filbert. So again, if I talk to Fred, Fred disappears and I can't make that choice again, and we open up the access to Filbert. Alright, now this is one that I think is probably a little bit cooler and causes time delays, and may or may not be useful for people. I like the idea, I like the concept more than anything, I guess. But so I'm going to build a little bit of a channel here. Something like that. Right, and then in this So what I'm going to do here, how do I want to do this? I want to take you one further down, I think. If I put you down there, we have you there. No, you do need to be one up. Right, and you would have to manipulate this to make it look better. But we're also going to nope, it's that one. Okay, so that, in theory, interesting, the vines are just sitting there on nothing, not hanging on to anything from there. Alright, and then I'm going to get some glass here. This is going old school mob mechanics here. In the olden days, you used to move animals and stuff around using methods like this. Of course, we didn't have packed ice in those days, but the theory is the same. So now, in theory, if I grab a water source block, and were to place that water source block here, alright, it happily flows all the way down. Alright, so what that's going to do is I'm going to actually fill that spot with water. My NPC is going to be here. And let's just, for lack of a better way of saying this, say that that's manager. Okay, and Philbert, I want to talk to your manager. Manager. Alright, now I need to go and get that. This block here is 203.71 -10. Right, and again, all of these are unresettable. So /set block 203.71 -10 or 0 replace, and I hope that works. And then what else we're going to try and do here is be a little bit sneaky and try and run some redstone off this in a different block. Planks will do. So plank there, no, plank there, plank there, and then I need tripwires there and there, and then string here. Could probably do this with a pressure plate just as easily. So that's going to fire redstone. Go back to planks here. Right, and then I want to run that down to the piston there. And in theory, that's not it, to the piston up here. Needs to be inverted. Let's want you there. Of course that was never going to work. No, that's going to do that. So we go down one earlier there. That works. And then we need to do the same or similar here. You go there. Do you pick up? No. You do there though. So of course this requires a bit more thinking about the design. Right, so now in theory, once I get to here, I can get pushed through. Okay, so hopefully, if this works, when I tell Philbert I want to speak to the manager. Interesting, it doesn't update. Interesting. I'll have to work on that, but in theory, I'm still standing here waiting. Philbert said, wait, the manager will come, and dang it, in comes the manager. That's just... Are they 3 high? Oh, that broke. Yeah. Again. Poorly designed here. Are they really 3 high? That's interesting. So yeah, and then the manager appears, and you can speak to the manager. So that was my 3 basic ideas around how to get access to different NPCs. So again, not resettable. So once the students make that decision, that's it, that's final, which in a collaborative classroom or a group project or something like that may have problems. But that might also lead to some really good discussions around which one we should choose and why, if that's what the project needs. So yeah, that's my basic thoughts at the moment about how we can do that. There is a way to get this to reset so that it doesn't do this, because we need that time between it. And if I'm right, yeah, so you just don't draw. There's no drawing of power through there. There might be, if I do that though. There you go, that's automatic resetting now. Not that Fred's here anymore. So let's run through all of them again. And of course the manager's the most difficult one to reset. So let's move you, I think up 5 should cut it. So now I've got to move you -1Z and 2. 2 up, -1 on Z, please. Just to get you reset where you need to be. And then it was -10, I'm pretty sure. Right, so that's Fred reset and ready. Yep. So now we've got to get Frank back up. Let's move you up 6. Hey. Alright, and the manager, unfortunately there's no way to get the manager back up there without. Okay, so I wonder how, so let's do a little bit of a test here, how we can do flowing water. Can we just do flowing water? Yep. So if we change Filbert's command to flowing water, right? It's interesting that they're, so you could use that to open a door. Forget the pistons. No, you're better off with the pistons. Because the yeah. Get down. I wonder if we put again, this all just comes back to understanding the mechanics. Yeah, so they're obviously 2.5 blocks tall. So that is going to change the way you manipulate your walls and doors and things. But the principle's there. What if we had a sandstone slab there instead?
Dad,
Yes, Gabby.
I'm lost.
Okay, I'll come out and help you in a second. I just want to do this, okay? Oh, and of course we need to put our wall back. Okay, so let's now go through the sequence. Have I got a little bit off? Yes. So Frank gives me options, alright, not just one, even though I've only set him up for one. Frank gives me options behind the story. I say, I want to talk to Fred or Frank or blah, 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 blah. So in this case, I want to talk to Fred. I forgot to change his command. And it was -5. So I changed Fred's command before I do this. -10, yes I did. Okay. Phew. Okay, so let's try this again. So we have a dialogue with Frank, he gives me options. I choose the option I think is best. So I want to talk to Fred. And up pops Fred. Now Fred could be a million miles away, doesn't matter. Okay, so then I wander around. I can't go back and talk to Frank unless we initiate a different Frank later on. But I can talk to Fred, so I want to talk to Fred. Fred gives me options again. For me, I'm going to talk to Filbert. And then Fred disappears. And Filbert makes an appearance. And I say to Filbert, I want to talk to your manager. 4 blocks filled. Oh yeah, that's there. And then down comes the manager. And this time he fits through because of the half. I need a delay on that. But anyway, you get the idea. Stuck in the block. So you get the idea. So that's the 3 different ways of sort of creating those options, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it. So if we have a look at what that command actually is. So we're not using the NPCs to directly initiate a command or a series of commands. We're using them to just teleport away, and that's what locks that NPC out from being utilized again and choosing the other choices. If you wanted them to choose the other choices, you could of course use this command instead of the teleport at S. So you could use that command and have multiples. It just means that that's not a one-way choice. They can choose multiple options and keep coming back to it depending on the way your map is designed and what you want out of it. And Fred again is a TP at S down. So again, you could just use this command here, the fill command, to do that. If you wanted multiple choice, and then Filbert does the timed water movement channel with the manager. Alright, the kids are making too much noise, and I am actually going to go and help them. I might even join them in a game of Minecraft. I just needed to get this off my brain and out there. Thanks, Ben, for the chat this morning. I hope this helps clarify at least what I was thinking in my head and helps you achieve what you wanted to achieve. Alright, so yeah.